Yeah, once again, a cool welcome back to chemistry class. All the students, those who joined and joining. So, my dear children, I told you many times, if you want achieve anything in our life, we must have confidence. So, confidence will give us thrill, but overconfidence kills us. So, what is the meaning of confidence and overconfidence? I am going to show you. Just observe the screen, children. You are going to get a small quotation on that. That will help you to learn many things in the life. So just I'm going to share the screen. Yeah, you can reply me, children. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good, very good. Thank you. And here I'm going to give you full screen. Yes, I'm talking about a simple motivational thing that is what is the meaning of confidence and overconfidence. To understand that, I will tell you a small story also, my dear children. So just observe the screen. I am going to write. Just what the meaning you are going to get story. After that, you can tell. I'll ask you. So here the point is confidence. Confidence is the way to success. Confidence is the way to success. But overconfidence is end of the end of the way to success. So observe the quotation carefully, children. Confidence is the way of success. But yeah, confidence is the way to success. But overconfidence is end of the way to success. So how can we understand? For example, I will read, I will write, I can read, I can write. So that is called confidence. So overconfidence is after 2 days I will write. After 3 days, I will read because we have time for examination 7 days. So 2 days I will enjoy, and after 2 days I will read. I will write. Definitely I will pass. So like that is called overconfidence. So always you have to go with confidence, children. And don't take overconfidence. I observed in many students and many people, they feel that they know everything, and they feel that others don't know anything. They feel everything. It means they are the world cleverest person, and they feel that the other person is don't know anything. That is called overconfidence. To understand this, I am going to tell you a small point. That is, very familiar person, Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is the famous scientist from Great Britain. Great Britain. One day, Albert Einstein was on flight, and he was going Britain from Russia. So in that same flight, next towards the Albert Einstein, one normal Indian person was there in the same flight. So Russia to Britain, long journey. So Albert Einstein, very clever scientist and a great person in the world. And in that long journey, the Albert Einstein got bored. He felt bored. So Albert Einstein asked to that normal Indian, "Hey, my dear Indian, why are you sleeping? Shall we play a game? Shall we play a game?" Albert Einstein was telling to the Indian. Yeah, normal Indian replied, "What's all about the game? What is that game?" So Albert Einstein was telling to Indian, "I will ask you one question. If you cannot give answer for that question, you should pay me 50 rupees. And after that, you can ask one question to me. And if I not give answer, I will pay you 5,000 rupees. See the difference. To the normal Indian, Einstein asked only 50 rupees. But the Einstein was telling to Indian, if Einstein not answered for the Indian question, Einstein should pay 5,000 rupees. So here you are understanding overconfidence of Einstein. So first of all, normal Indian has given chance to Einstein. Sir, your term first, sir, you can ask the question. So now Einstein asked that, what is the distance between Sun and Earth planet? So normal Indian simply pulled out 50 rupees and given to the Einstein. I don't know, sir. Normal Indian didn't know answer for that question. And after that, Einstein asked to normal Indian, now your turn, normal Indian, you can ask question to me. I am very famous and greatest scientist from Great Britain. So normal Indian started the question. Sir, the animal which walks up the mountain with 3 legs and comes down by 4 legs. Normal Indian asked the question to Einstein. The animal which walks up the mountain with 3 legs and comes down by 4 legs. After listening the question, Einstein got shocked and he asked the computer help and he asked for pay phone in the flight. No answer. Frustrated. Einstein frustrated. And Einstein was so annoyed and he pulled out 5,000 rupees and slammed it in the hands of normal Indian. Normal Indian took that 5,000 rupees and went into sleep. So the Einstein was feeling very, very, very insult. And he wakes up the normal Indian person from the sleep and asked that, idiot, I have given you 5,000 rupees. Tell me that answer. The animal which walks up the mountain with 3 legs and comes down by 4 legs. Normal Indian simply pulled out 50 rupees and given to the Einstein. And normal Indian told that, I don't know, sir. So this is what we learn. What is confidence and overconfidence? So here, the Einstein is having overconfidence. He felt that he knows everything. He knows answer for any question in the world. But with overconfidence, the Einstein lost the game. So my dear children, you also, how many things you know, how much knowledge you have, always behave humble, always behave sincere. Then you will get good position in the life. So this is what a small quotation. Confidence is the way of success or way to success, but overconfidence is end of the way to success. I hope you got the point. So now we are going to enter into the session. Here, today our talk about chemical bond. So this word we have been observing from 8th, 9th. So again, I want to repeat. Again, I want to give a clear idea on the chemical bond. So what is the meaning of chemical bond and how it is forming? What is the importance of chemical bond? So my dear children, to observe this, I am taking a clear definition first of all. All the students ready with pen and paper, and you can note down also. The definition is, it is the clear definition wherever you go, whatever the standard you go, either that is intermediate or degree or medicine or engineering, whatever it may be. So the definition is, I'm writing, the attractive force which holds two constraint atoms are ions together in a molecule or compound is called chemical bond, and the phenomena is called chemical bonding. So my dear children, very simple word, you are observing that attractive force. So chemical bond, nothing but attractive force which is present in between the atoms. These two are the atoms. So in between the atoms, attraction is present. So in between the atoms or in between the ions, especially opposite charged ions. So in between the ions, the attraction forces are present. That attraction forces are called chemical bond, and the phenomena is called chemical bonding. So if anybody asks you, you can give one word. What is the meaning of chemical bond? The answer is, sir, attractive forces in between the atoms or ions. That's it. So again, I am repeating. The attractive force which holds two constant atoms or ions together in a molecule or compound is called chemical bond. So up to 10th class, in our subject, we used to get especially 4 types of chemical bonds. So I am going to show you that 4 types of chemical bonds. So first one is ionic bond. Second one is covalent bond. Third one is hydrogen bond. And fourth one is metallic bond. So these are the 4 types of important chemical bond. So here, most of the student knows, and that is correct also. Covalent bond classified into 3 types. Covalent bond classified into 3 types. One is non-polar covalent bond. Second one is polar covalent bond. And the third one is coordinate covalent bond. Very simple, children. Ionic bond, no classification. Hydrogen bond also having classification. Metallic bond, no classification. And covalent bond also having here classification. In the hydrogen bond and in the covalent bond, you will get classification. So hydrogen bond also classified into 2 types. One is inter, second one is intramolecular hydrogen bond. So we will learn how these bonds are forming and what are the parameters to form these bonds. So I am going to select the first bond is ionic bond, children. Very, very important. And here I got a question. Yeah, very good, very good. And a very important suggestion. So July 5th onwards, we are going to start classes in Microsoft Teams. You are requested to visit the school with your parent to collect the Microsoft Teams user ID and password. Visit the school with your parent, collect the Microsoft Teams user ID and password. Then July 5th onwards, you can listen the class, you can access the Microsoft Teams app. Okay, that's it. And here I am taking first of all ionic bond. So ready with pen and paper, children. I am going to take, yeah. So how the ionic bond is forming? I am going to give you how the ionic bond is going to form. So first of all, you have to observe the screen carefully, then you will get the data easily. So I am writing here ionic bond. Ionic bond. So the answer is, always you have to remember this word only. This word will give you exact answer. That is the chemical bond which is formed by transfer of electrons in between the metal and non-metal atoms. Very, very, very simple. Ionic bond definition I have given, that is the chemical bond which is formed by transfer of electrons in between metal and non-metal atoms. So one word you have to highlight here, children, that is transfer of electrons. So ionic bond is formed by transfer of electron. In between the which characters the transfer of electron is happening? Metal atom and non-metal atom. And you have to observe here, always the metal atom transfer the electron to non-metal atom. So metal atom gives electron to non-metal atom. The reason is same, that is to get the octet configuration. To get the octet configuration or noble gas configuration, the metal is giving electron to non-metal. So when metal transfer electron, it will form cation. And when non-metal gains that electron, that will form anion. So cation and anion, what is that? You can write like this: atom with positive charge cation and atom with negative charge anion, plus and minus. So in between the plus and minus charge, attractions are present. These are the oppositely charged ions. Always the opposite charged ions attract together. So you can give, sir, the bond which is present in between two opposite charged ions. Ionic bond, nothing but the bond which is present to opposite charged ions also. So two definitions I have given, children, for ionic bond, and we will see one example how the ionic bond is forming in between the metal atom and non-metal atom. So this is the screen, children, you are going to get. Yeah, you are observing here sodium and chlorine. Sodium is bonded with chlorine. You know, sodium chloride is common salt. You have learnt already. Sodium chloride is called common salt. But how the sodium combined with chlorine, we will understand here with the help of electron configuration. So here sodium electron configuration is 11, children. So you will get 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. So here 1s2 is the K shell, 2s2, 2p6 is the L shell, 3s1 is the M shell. And remember, sodium is metal. I'll give you clarity also. Just give me 1 second. Sodium is metal. I told you, in the ionic bond, compulsory one metal atom and one non-metal atom. And the non-metal atom is very familiar. That is chlorine, which atomic number is 17. So you can write 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So 1s2 is K shell, 2s2, 2p6 L shell, 3s2, 3p5 M shell. So what is going to happen? My dear children, in the sodium metal, the valency shell is M, that is having only one valence electron. And in the chlorine, the valency shell is M, but that is having 7 electrons. So that is why the sodium transfer one valency electron to the chlorine valency shell like this. Very important point you are getting, children, here. That is why the sodium is transferring its valency electrons to chlorine. When the sodium lost this valency electron, it will get octet configuration. You can see L shell, 2s2, 2p6 is there. 8 electrons are there in the valency. That is why the sodium is transferring its valency electron to chlorine valency shell. So already in the chlorine valency shell, 7 electrons are there. So after getting 1 electron, the sodium becomes Na+1 and chlorine becomes Cl-1. So Na plus electron configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. 1s2 K shell, 2s2, 2p6 L shell. You can see the Na plus is having a L shell with 8 electrons, octet configuration. And Cl minus also, you can see 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. So 1s2 K shell, 2s2, 2p6 L shell, and 3s2, 3p6 M shell. Very clear difference you are observing. Sodium and sodium plus cation. Chlorine and Cl-1 anion. So the sodium plus cation and chlorine -1 anion having octet configuration, noble gas configuration in the valency shell. So that is why the sodium plus and Cl minus react with each other and there is a formation of sodium chloride. So sodium chloride is the best example for ionic bond or ionic compound. And many of these students are asking that, sir, you told that sodium is losing electron, chlorine is gaining electron to get the noble gas configuration. So after getting the noble gas configuration, what will happen? So the answer is, Sodium plus having neon noble gas configuration. Very, very important. Sodium plus is having neon noble gas configuration. Sodium plus having 10 electrons, neon noble gas also having 10 electrons. And Cl minus 1 having 18 electrons. So argon noble gas also having 18 electrons. So they will ask you, sodium plus is having which noble gas configuration? Cl minus 1 is having which noble gas configuration? So you can give this answer. And a very important point, children, that is, I told you, always the ionic bond present in between one metal atom, one non-metal atom. You have a periodic table. In that periodic table, 95 metals are there, nearly 95. And below 10 non-metals are there. But I am giving here especially groups. You have 18 groups in the periodic table. So which groups specially called metals and which groups specially called non-metals I am giving now, that is, you can see here, first A, second A, alkali metals, alkali earth metals. So first A elements are lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Second A elements are beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. So especially this first A and second A group elements are called good metals in the periodic table. First A and second A. You can give Arabic number 1, Arabic number 2. We can show 2 types, either Roman letter or Arabic number. And as well as you have non-metals also, good non-metals. Always non-metals takes the electrons, gain the electrons. That non-metals are 5th A, 6th A, and 7th A groups. So here you can see, my dear children, 5th A, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. And 6th A, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. 7th A, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. The periodic table is with you. You can see 5th A, 6th A, 7th A. Don't worry. So always you remember, children, when first A group elements combined with this 5th A or 6th A or 7th A, only ionic bond will form. As well as when the second A group elements react with either first A or second A or third A. Sorry. When the second A group elements combine with 5th A, 6th A, 7th A, whatever it may be, you will get ionic bond only. Very important and simple point, children. First A group, second A group called metals. 5th A, 6th A, 7th A called non-metals, especially to show the ionic bond. First A group elements sometimes combined with 5th A or 6th A or 7th A. Second A also can combine with the first A, sorry. Second A can combine with 5th A or 6th A or 7th A. Now I have shown the example NaCl. In the NaCl, Na is sodium is first A and chlorine is 7th A. This is what I am telling, children. Sodium is first A group element, that is metal, and transferred electrons to non-metal, that 7th A group element, chlorine. Okay, sir, you have shown first A and 7th A. What about second A group element, sir? Second A group element sometimes react with 5th A group elements, 6th A and 7th A. But I am taking a simple example, that is, you can see here, observe the screen carefully, children. Very important. Second A, I have taken magnesium. Magnesium atomic number 12. And the magnesium metal is reacting with it is second A group element, and I am taking 6th A element. The 6th A group element is sulfur. Just you can see, this is the 6th A. In the 6th A, second element, first element oxygen, second element is sulfur. So I am taking sulfur. Sulfur atomic number 16. Write the electron configuration. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. Count the electron number. Some of the students in the flow, they will tell, sir, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. Always the atomic number should equal to electron number. You have to count that. So 1s2 K shell, 2s2 2p6 L shell, and 3s2 is M shell. The magnesium is having 2 valency electrons. And what about a sulfur? Sulfur atomic number is 16. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p4. Always you have to count the electrons. So you can see 1s2 K shell, 2s2 2p6 L shell, 3s2 3p4 M shell. So metal character always transfer electrons to non-metal. So magnesium is transferring its valency electrons to the sulfur non-metal. Already in the sulfur non-metal valency shell, 6 electrons are there. To get octet configuration, it requires only 2 electrons. That is why sulfur is suitable to react with magnesium metal, because in the magnesium valency 2 electrons are there. When magnesium lost 2 electrons, it will turn into Mg plus 2. Mg plus 2 nothing but you will get like this: 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 1s2 K shell, 2s2, 2p6 L shell. So 8 electrons are there in the valency of Mg plus 2 ion, and the sulfur turned into S minus 2. That is called sulfide. So how can you write? Same, but 2 electrons extra in the 3p subshell. 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. Now you can see in the valency of S minus 2 ion, sulfide ion, 8 electrons are there. Here the magnesium is getting neon noble gas configuration, and the sulfide is getting argon noble gas configuration. So finally, the ultimate answer to get the noble gas, nearest noble gas configuration. Magnesium is nearest to the neon, sulfur is nearest to the argon. So metal is transferring electrons in the ionic bond to get the nearest noble gas configuration. Non-metal is gaining electrons in the ionic bond to get the nearest noble gas configuration. I hope you got the point, children. What is the meaning of ionic bond? And a very important point, children. In between the metal atom and the non-metal atom, the electronegativity difference must be 1.7 above. 1.7 above. Very important point. When you take metal atom, non-metal atom, in between the metal and non-metal atom, above 1.7 electronegativity difference is compulsory. Sometimes they will ask you, in the ionic bond formation, in between the metal and non-metal, how much electronegativity difference should be? That is above 1.7. Here some students will ask, sir, what is the meaning of electronegativity, sir? Electronegativity is nothing but electron attracting nature, electron taking nature. So to measure the electronegativity of every element, we have scales in our chemistry. Electronegativity measuring scales are there. From that only I am telling, in between the metal and non-metal, the electronegativity difference is more than 1.7. You can call that bond is ionic bond. I hope you got the point. And next, second bond after ionic bond, second bond, you observed that covalent bond. Already I told you, ionic bond meaning is transfer of electrons. But you can see the very good, reasonable, and understandable picture for covalent bond. Yeah, what is happening? If you observe the picture, 2 members are there, heavily raining outside. They are sharing one umbrella. That is very, very important. So from this point, you can understand covalent bond is nothing but the bond which is formed by sharing of electrons in between the atoms. That's it. If anybody asks you, just you tell this example. So what is the definition of chemical bonding? Yeah, very good. Some of the students give an answer, that is sharing of electrons. Sir, what are the parameters to understand to form the covalent bonds, sir? You may ask. My dear children, I told you, ionic bond always present in between the metal and non-metal. But covalent bond is formed by maximum 99.99% non-metals. Covalent bond is formed by non-metals only. So you have non-metals, especially in the periodic table, from 13 to 17 groups. In the periodic table, 13 to 17 groups are called non-metals. So non-metals forms the covalent bond. The covalent bond is nothing but the bond which is formed by sharing of electrons. Sir, how in between the atoms sharing of electrons happens, sir? Can you explain? Definitely, my dear. I told you covalent bond is classified into three types. One is non-polar, second one is polar, and third one is coordinate covalent bond. First of all, we will see non-polar covalent bond. First of all, we will see non-polar covalent bond. Here you are observing the heading and one diagram. Two emojis are two pictures, two toys like symbols you are observing. That is first hydrogen and second hydrogen. So the two hydrogen atoms are equal energetic. So they are fighting to take the bond themselves. To understand this pic, first of all, I want to give you definition. The definition is, what is the meaning of non-polar covalent bond? The covalent bond which is formed by equal sharing of electrons in between the atoms. So my dear children, very clearly you are getting that non-polar covalent bond definition. That is the covalent bond which is formed by equal sharing of electrons in between the atoms. And you can remember, in between the similar atoms. Similar, very, very important point. The covalent bond which is formed by equal sharing of electrons in between the similar atoms especially. So I can give examples for covalent molecules, covalent bond having molecules. So you can call covalent molecules. One is hydrogen, second one is oxygen, third one is nitrogen. These are the covalent molecules. And in these molecules, you have only non-polar covalent bond. Very, very important, children. H2 hydrogen molecule, O2 oxygen molecule, N2 nitrogen molecule. These are the best examples to understand the meaning of non-polar covalent bond. So when you write the hydrogen electron configuration, that is 1s1, it is having one valence electron. So Lewis dot structure I am writing. And as well as another hydrogen, H2 formation purpose, you need two hydrogen atoms. So each hydrogen atom has denoted with one dot because it is having only one valency electron. So both hydrogen shares one electron and there is a formation of bond pair. This is called bond pair. In between the two atoms, if you are observing a line, that is called bond pair. One bond pair equal to two electrons. So this bond is formed by two hydrogen electrons. So two hydrogen atoms have right to share this bond. So that is why first hydrogen atom using the bond, then that is getting helium noble gas configuration. Second hydrogen atom also using the bond because that also shared one electron to form that bond. So in this process, both hydrogen atoms are getting helium noble gas configuration. Whether that is ionic bond or covalent bond, the final answer is, the final destination is, the atoms are involving in the ionic bond, the atoms are involving in the covalent bond to get the noble gas configuration. Here helium noble gas configuration is called duplet because helium having 1s2 configuration, 2 electrons like this. So this 2 electrons configuration is called duplet or doublet or duet. Duplet or doublet or duet configuration. So here two similar hydrogen atoms shared equal number of electrons and they formed a bond in between them. That bond utilized by two hydrogen atoms to get the nearest noble gas configuration, that is helium. So this is the meaning of non-polar covalent bond for hydrogen atom. Okay, sir, what about oxygen and nitrogen, sir? You may ask. Do you find here the similarity? Hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen all are gases. So especially in the gases, we can find a covalent bond. So I'm going to give you the oxygen example also. And my dear children, this is oxygen atomic number. Don't tell 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. That is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Valency electrons are 6. So O plus O, you are going to get O2. So Lewis dot method I am writing. Lewis dot method I am writing. 1 oxygen, 6 valence electrons. So 6 dots. So another oxygen also 6 dots. So here you can understand oxygen is having 6 electrons. To get the noble gas configuration, to get the octet configuration, it requires 2 electrons. That is why one oxygen share 2 electrons with another oxygen. So each oxygen is sharing 2 electrons. Then you can see first oxygen purpose. I am rounding the first oxygen. 2 bond pairs, 2 lines you are observing. These are the 2 lines. You can call 2 bond pairs. 2 bond pairs, nothing but 4 electrons. And on the first oxygen, you are observing the 2 lone pairs. These dots. 2 lone pairs. Nothing but 4 electrons. So the first oxygen got octet configuration. And if you observe the second oxygen, to form the bonds, the second oxygen atom also shared 2 electrons. So that oxygen also has right to take that bonds towards itself. So that is why the second oxygen also utilizing that bond pairs. So 2 bond pairs and 2 lone pairs. Same, the second oxygen also getting octet configuration. So from this point, you are understanding, my dear children, both oxygen atoms, similar oxygen atoms are equally sharing 2 electrons, and in between them they formed 2 bond pairs. Finally, that bond pairs utilized by 2 oxygen atoms to get the nearest noble gas configuration. So this is what a non-polar covalent bond. But very important point, after forming the 2 bonds in between the 2 oxygen atoms, each oxygen atom is having 2 lone pairs. These are the lone pairs. These are the lone pairs. Very, very important. Lone pair, nothing but which is not involved in the bond formation. The electrons which are not involved in the bond formation is called lone pair. I hope you got. And in between the 2 oxygen atoms, you are observing the 2 bond pairs. This is called double bond. In between the hydrogens, you observed only one bond like this. This is single covalent bond. Single covalent bond is present in hydrogen molecule. But in the oxygen, this is called a double covalent bond. Double covalent bond. And last example I will show you. After that, you have Slido ready for the Slido. The last example is, that is nitrogen molecule. Can you guess what is the percentage of nitrogen gas in atmosphere? Happily, we are eating fruits and vegetables, all the things from the plants. The main gas for the plants, that is nitrogen. Carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, but nitrogen gas is very useful to make the proteins. The plants will give us protein food. From where we are getting the protein food from the plants, especially with the help of nitrogen gas. Yeah, here I got the answer. Very good, very good. 78. Rasagna, Sai Teja, 78. But here, exact percentage is important. You are 100% right, but the exact percentage is 78.03. Very important. Nitrogen percentage, nitrogen gas percentage in atmosphere 78.03, and it is the time to know oxygen also, that is 20.09. So you can remember 20.9 percentage, not 0.9, 20.9, approximately 21. So I'm taking nitrogen molecule, children, N2, N plus N, you are going to get N2. But nitrogen atomic number 7, so 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So K shell 2 electrons and L shell 5 electrons. One nitrogen is having 5 valence electrons, children. So I am writing the Lewis dot method for one nitrogen like this: 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So here some students have doubt. Sir, you have written like this. So I am going to write according to your choice. Just give me 1 second. So I am writing here again the nitrogen. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. So here the nitrogen. Yeah. Nitrogen having 5 valence electrons. So already the nitrogen having 5 valence electrons. To get the octet configuration, it requires 3 electrons. That is why one nitrogen share 3 electrons with other nitrogen. So non-polar covalent bond meaning is always you have to take similar atoms. In between the similar atoms, you can share the electrons, you can form the bonds, and that bond utilized by the 2 atoms. So here each nitrogen atom sharing the 3 electrons, 3 bond pairs will form. So each nitrogen utilized the 3 bond pairs. So 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair you are observing on the nitrogen. So totally 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair, 8 electrons. Here also the second nitrogen same, 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair, 8 electrons. So this is called a triple covalent bond. In the hydrogen, single covalent bond you observed. In the oxygen, double covalent bond you observed. And in the nitrogen, triple covalent bond you are observing. I hope you got the meaning of ionic bond and covalent bond. Ionic bond and covalent bond, children. In the covalent bond, we finish the non-polar covalent bond. And very important point, non-polar covalent bond is forming in between the similar atoms. In some examples, for example, CH4, methane also good example for non-polar covalent bond. Sir, you told that non-polar covalent bond is present in between the similar atoms. But here CH4 is not a similar atoms molecule. Carbon and hydrogen, different atoms involved in that molecule formation. So how you are telling, sir, it is a non-polar covalent bond? You may ask. The answer is, here I am telling the answer with the help of electronegativity difference. In between the atoms, if the electronegativity difference is 0.4 below, then that is also called a non-polar covalent bond. IIT question it is. In between the atoms, the electronegativity difference is below 0.4, you can call that is a non-polar covalent bond. So that we will discuss tomorrow, children. I am going to give you now Slido. Just take the code. The code is 311795. And I'm giving 5 questions. In that 5 questions, you know 4 questions, and 1 questions you have to guess the answer from your previous class. 311795. 311795. I told you the students, those who are writing daily Slido or any other exam, these marks will be recorded, my dear children. Don't take light. I told you confidence is important, but overconfidence is not. Yes, children. Very good. Yeah, I'm going to start it fast. Yeah, I'm going to activate the quiz. Already activated. I'm going to start it. 311. I gave you already 311795. 311795. 311795. 311795. Yes, the first question you are going to get. Yeah, this is the general question. Already you have learned in your 8th, 9th class. Ionic bond introduced by. Very good. Cossel introduced the ionic bond. That you have to remember. Already you got last in the last year. Second question. Simple question. Which bond is formed by transfer of electrons? That's great. Yeah, that is ionic bond. And third question. Number of valence electrons in O minus 2 ion. O minus 2 oxide. Very good. Yeah, the answer is 8 electrons. Oxygen is 6, but O minus 2 means 2 electrons extra. Fourth question. In between the non-metals, dash bond can form. Five seconds. Very good. Last question, but not least. Who observed the class well, they will give answer easily. Which one is first A group element? Which one is first A group elements? Lithium, sodium, potassium. Very good. Lithium, sodium, potassium. 3 elements belongs to first A. And here the leaderboard. Just I am going to announce the names. Yeah, very good. Vaibhav, Varun, Sai Teja got 5 by 5, and those who got 4 by 5, that students also 5 by 5, because I have given that Cosell ionic bond formation. Cosell introduced the ionic bond formation from your previous class. Yeah, Dikshita, Sai Manogna, Pranati, Sidhu, Deepali, and Sriniket, Afsa Jabin, Madhuri, Shriya. I'm appreciating all the students, those who got 4 and 5. So this is what today class, children. Take care. Have a nice day. See you all tomorrow.